Hello again. All right, I really want to talk to you about something that I think is quite common when it comes to saying you want to lose weight and then it actually being something that happens and something that you go out and make happen. I see it a lot, and I've been in these places myself where you kind of like say one thing, but then sometimes your actions don't quite align up with what it is that you say you want, right? And I think it's really common for a start. I think we should just get, instead of thinking that it always has to look a certain way and like it should just be like I'm on a diet, so therefore everything should just fall into place and go exactly how we want it to. I think that we set off with good intentions, but there are things that can crop up that maybe we haven't thought about, or maybe that you just feel is a little bit, why isn't this sitting right? Like, why can't I stick to doing what I said I'm going to do? And I know that can feel really, really frustrating as well. Like, and you get a bit pissed with yourself because of it. But I think that there's just this little gap that we need to kind of like chat through. And, you know, when you figure that gap out, then you'll be able to start moving forward with things in the way that you want them to. And it will feel a lot easier and feel a lot nicer, because when things don't match up in what your mind is telling you want to do, and then the actions you're doing, it's going to do your head in. Like I said, we just need to figure out what the gap is. What is the conflict that's going on inside a little bit? So let's get into it. So I'm Bex, and I help women with their relationship with food and also losing weight, because I think both of those two things most women struggle with. And honestly, I do think this is common. And what I want you to get out of this is that by the end of it, you'll kind of be able to go, right, I know this is what I want, but I'm also conflicting with myself in this area. So we're going to figure out what the conflicting is and why that might be happening. Because I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you, or that you're broken, or you just can't keep up with your favourite influencer and what they're doing. And yeah, because I want you to feel good about you, right? And I want you to make the progress that you deserve to be making and having, and reaping all the rewards that come with that. So here's what I think is going on, right? I reckon that when those two things do not align or don't match up properly, it's usually because there's something else on the other side that maybe you're worried about giving up, or worried about how it's going to feel, or how you're going to even implement all of this into your life. So there's like, you're scared of it maybe, or there's something just butting heads with you. So you want to lose weight, but there's something that doesn't feel like it's flowing naturally. So maybe it means that, you know, you want to lose weight, but you also think you're going to have to, your whole life is going to have to get turned upside down in the space of 48 hours. And obviously you like your life in a way, and there's comfort in that. And you know that maybe that feels a little bit like, shit, I don't know how to do this. Or you're wanting to lose weight, but you know, am I going to have to be a completely different person who meal preps every single day of the week? Otherwise I'm not going to be able to get the results that I want. You know, maybe it's a case of, I want to lose weight, but I really don't want to give up the biscuit or the cookies that I have with my cup of tea. Or I want to lose weight, but I don't want to give up the Friday night takeaway that we always have. Or I've got date night and I don't want to have to give that up. And I think that sometimes when we have these internal conflicts, because they're usually around these normal things that we've grown accustomed to and the things that we like to do, it kind of like, and because of the way that I think diet culture is, sometimes it does feel like it has to be very all or nothing. But I think that when there's conflict, you have to address the conflict. You have to understand what the conflict is inside and what are the things that you don't want to give up, to then be able to know how to make it work with your fat loss plan. So like I said, maybe you've got weight to lose, but you're also a little bit like, shit, I ain't got hours and hours and hours to spend in the gym. So that's butting heads against with you as well, because you've got work, you've got kids, you're running around after the kids, all of this stuff. And it just becomes that point, well, there's the conflict. That's what's not going up. So you're saying that you want to lose weight, but there are certain actions and behaviors that just aren't marrying up. Because I know that you want to have more energy, you want to feel healthier in yourself, you want to drop a dress size, you want to wear clothes that you really, really are desperate to wear because it's like, I want to wear this outfit and I just want to feel great in it. And we all know that Christmas is coming and everything just sometimes feels like, it's too much. So what happens is, because you've got this internal conflict going on, you can tend to stay stuck and you can tend to just be like, I'm a bit trudging through the mud and it's hard and it's like, I'm doing it, but I'm not really enjoying doing it. And I think it boils down to what you believe it's going to cost you to get the result that you want, because of how how diet culture has led us to think it has to be very drastic. But this is why you get in your head so much. And I don't believe it's about willpower. I believe it's about you deciding the things that you want to keep in your life and the things that you are willing to negotiate on, and then making it fit with your weight loss. So, for example, it could be that you want to lose weight, but you still want to be able to have a cookie, or, you want to lose weight, but you still want to have the takeout once on the weekend. So then it's like, well, how can we marry both of those things together then? So that then you're not having to give it all up, but you are going to compromise on it. And I think as soon as you can kind of like fuse these two things together and understand that, you're not going to have a takeout Friday, Saturday and Sunday night, but you could actually still allow yourself to have the takeout on one of those nights. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, so I want to lose weight. I don't want to give up my Friday night takeaway. So how about, okay, we keep that in then. So then you get to still have what you want, and the other things that you're doing then will marry up far nicely, because you're still getting to keep something that you're like, I just don't want to give this up. This is important to me and I want to have it. And I think that when you can start to look at weight loss, instead of it completely turning your life upside down and being totally alien from what you've ever done at the start of any fat loss program, and be like, I'm cutting it all out, it's all got to go, I would encourage you to think, write a list of the things that you feel that you don't want to give up, and then look at how you can fit those in a realistic way to your dieting journey, weight plan, weight loss, whatever words you want to use. Because I think that at the end of the day, the things that you want and the things that you think you can't have, you can put those two things together. You've just got to do it in a sensible way, right? And, it's about not being scared to address the changes that need to happen, but knowing that both your feelings are valid. Having two opposing things are very valid parts of being a human being. And it's called ambivalence, when you say that you want something, but your actions are, you're kind of fighting with something and it doesn't feel right. You've got two conflicting emotions or two conflicting things going on at the same time. And it feels like, I want this, but I also want this. And then you're stuck, you're torn between the two things. So that's why I think it's important to talk about it. And I think that it's important to get honest with yourself about what is the thing that you don't want to lose. What are you thinking you have to give up to get what you want? Because as soon as you can work that out, then like I said, the next thing is just working out how to fuse it into your dieting life, so that it doesn't feel like you're giving up anything, but you're including it in a way that you're still in control of it, but it's done in a way that is also going to lead to your results as well. So anyway, I said I was going to keep these bite-sized, so I'm going to stop it there because I do have a tendency to talk. But I would really love it if you either commented or got in touch with me and let me know if this was helpful, or if you were like, oh my gosh, that makes quite a bit of sense actually, and I'm going to write down the things that I'm scared of losing and looking at how I can actually include them in a sensible way with a weight loss journey. So yeah, and if you would want to get in touch and have a chat about it, I also like just talking to people. So my details are, I believe you call them the show notes. So they're there if you want to get in touch. But I hope you enjoyed this.